Good morning, everybody. This is Max Farrell. This is DexTrader.com. Today is August 13th, 2018, and we're about to take off with our first episode of Crawling with Max. All right, everybody, we're going to get started right now. Now, just like basically every one of these videos, this being this sort of like the first one, we're going to be doing some trades. I have not traded yet in this series, okay? I gave a little bit of explanation in that very first video you probably watched. So today is August 13th. Is it the best day to trade? Actually, it's pretty good. So what we did is that we come in, we hit our little economic news calendar, and we just want to have a look to see where we're at. Okay, we had some news at 9 o'clock. It's 9:43 right about now. So we're going to come in. There's a little bit of news this morning. There's not a lot of dancing around. And we're just going to pop right onto the Foursquare. Now, I'm going to have some new training that's going to be on board that you'll be able to watch to show some of the stuff. But this is what these videos are for, is to help train you as well. So once I'm on the Foursquare, now I'm only going to be using these 4 pairs. I'm not going to be going down the other 3 that are on there as well. So there's a total of 7 pairs. There's a little gray bar up here. I'm just going to click up on top of that. I'm going to use my arrows on my keyboards to move my market around. Now, first thing I'm always looking for is trend, right? Boom, trend. And we don't have it here. We have a lot of consolidation happening over the last, I'd say, hour or so. But we're not getting any clear, decisive direction on trend. If we pull back just a little bit, we can kind of see that it was doing an uptrend little dance there. But really over the last 60 bars, I would say, okay? From, I'd say, right here to right around in here, it's not doing much of anything. Okay, we did get this hit on the up, but now we're just topping out. And our bottom, if we see this, okay, I want you to watch this. We have this top line here, and we have this bottom line here. I'm not really getting a good feel. This is more like a flag than anything else. So this flag series, that once it pushes past a certain point, okay, especially on a flag. All right, if it pushes past up here, because this top line, I didn't draw my line very clear. If it pushes past up this way, it's going to be a continuation flag, and if it pushes down here, it's going to be a reversal flag. And it usually goes about, I'd say, about 3/4 of the way where it made its first move into the flag, where it started to really do the consolidation. It's going to probably move up to about here. Okay, so however many pips that is, let's have a look here. Let's see how many pips it is. Put that little line right there, 72.87 to, say, right about there. Okay, about 72.75. So about 13 pips up from that point. But again, we're not trading flag or pennant trades here. We're looking for clear, decisive uptrends or downtrends. But now you're able to spot what a pennant looks like or a flag looks like. On our Euro USD, we got a little bit more consolidation that happened here, right around this area. You can kind of see we're dressing to the upside. I do like it because we are getting clear. There's a little bit of a pullback. Consolidation happened here, but we did pierce through. Looks like we're going to come up. But I'm going to wait for this to really signify that we're going to be in an uptrend there. I could speculate as much as I want, but what I'm looking for is immediate history. All right, now in this one, this level where we're sort of hovering at right now, okay, on the Great Britain pound USD, I'm not really digging, because if we pull back just a little bit, we are overall in an uptrend. But again, this level has really signified a lot of confusion. 27.75. So yeah, that 27.80 kind of area. I don't really want to play with that too much. Let's have a quick look at the USD JPY. Ooh, tough morning this morning. Again, a lot of consolidation happening right now. So, you know, it's also Monday. That's, you know, whatever excuses you want to come up with. All right, so it looks like we're just going to hold off just for a little bit. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to come back in, say, 20, 30 minutes, let this market really start to establish itself a little bit. There is no other news happening in the process. So I'm just going to pause and I'm going to come back, but that's just first read. Okay, so while we're waiting, I don't want you to suffer too much in this process, okay, of learning how to trade. I'm going to show you this. This is a gentleman, his name is James. I won't give you his last name. But James started with us a little while ago, and he's been doing some things back and forth. And I brought him into the series to start training. And this is his first set of trades when he started to train up to about the 30th of July, where he had to take a little break because I think he needed to relearn how to do the trades themselves. Now, listen, when he started doing the trades and he was training, he did $427, okay? Because he was using some techniques of, you know, adding too many contracts in at times, but he ended up coming up decent, okay? Now, after retraining him into the process, he had a pretty, you know, not a great success rate. I mean, for what he was doing. He was trading quite a bit too. If you see on the 29th, he traded 3 or 4 times. You know, he's trading pretty extensively. On the 30th, he traded 4 or 5 times. Now, again, he started back on the 12th again, and he stayed with the mentality of only getting the perfect signal, okay? So just on the 12th, okay, just getting the perfect signal, did $209 using one contract at a time, okay? So just on the 12th, now this is James trading at his time period when he could physically train and trade, okay? So it's only about, it looks like 9 o'clock, you know, 9 to, and if you look at this, this is really only over in about an hour, okay? And it's only on those first 4 pairs, okay? And he waited for the perfect signals to come up, and this is what he has done. Now, if you see too, there's a $28 one, which meant he got it for $30 profit margin net. And look at this, he has a $40, $41 one. Why? Because he was able to get in at such a good price at this, and this is going to happen every once in a while, right? If it happens once out of however many trades he did here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. So I think that there's a process here of learning that, 8 trades, that really does take time to learn and master, but it's about slowing down and procuring the proper, you know, knowing your trade, knowing your trend, knowing your price, and getting your price. Those are the 3 main things that you got to fight for every single time you trade. 5-minute trades can be very exciting, but it could be devastating if you're not careful. All right, we're still waiting for another trade to come up. Let me scan the market again. There is another arrow coming up. It looks like the USD, the Euro USD, is signifying that it wants to be in an uptrend. But the one thing that, I don't know, yeah, I think I can handle that. So what we're going to do is this little bit of movement that's heading up now, okay? If we can get the Euro USD to give me another signal up, that's very first, its next up arrow. But the next up arrow has to be above this line right here, okay, this 1429 area. If that up arrow isn't procuring up above that, I may not take that trade, okay, even though that this would be a perfect, you know, here's an up and up and up and then down or pull back. Then very next one being an up would be a good signifier for a good trade. Same thing on the Great Britain Pound USD. We are starting to set this trend upwards. Again, that next one, if we have this pull up and pull back down, the next up arrow right here should be above that support line, okay? It shouldn't be at resistance below, which would be resistance, should be above. And this USD JPY, I'm going to stay away from for a little while until it clarifies exactly what it wants to do, because it's also in a long flag area, sort of consolidating down into this area. Once it starts doing this, it'll turn into a pennant. And I really want to stay with that until it makes its move, okay? So our winner right now, what we're going to really be watching for a little while, is maybe the AUD USD and the USD or Euro USD. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, so we had another bell ring off here, another 5 minutes later, another bell on this Euro USD, because we're going to be focusing just on Euro USD at the moment. in the up pattern, uptrend. Second arrow pullback, waiting for one more arrow to either push down or pull. We want it to push back up again. If another red arrow comes out, we might look at this as consolidating again and might pull off this for a little bit to kind of give ourselves a break. Some of the other ones here, nothing really giving us anything of movement. We'll kind of staying between this on the USD JPY consolidating. Great Britain Pound USD is starting to re-push back into that up pattern, and we have the same thing as we have with the Euro USD as well as the Audi USD, bouncing off of this, coming under to be resistance and back up to be support. So if we get another arrow up here, even the Audi USD could be considered a good trade. In about 2 minutes, we'll find out. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, we've got about 30 seconds left in this last 5 minutes. We're going to see if one rings out here. I wanted to be recording, so I didn't have to hit the record button and take a couple seconds away, because you have to move fast. And being that I'm recording, I'm a little bit even more... Okay, here we go. We did have some pullback, some major pullback happening. There's no trade about to happen here for a little while, because now this pullback, okay, because we're heading up in an uptrend, this pullback is broken right here at that little down right there. So even if it does come back, we would have to see this, because it's created the little double top that's happening here. So this is telling me there's a lot of confusion in the market right now. Even with this particular pair going sideways a little bit, I'm going to kind of pull back just a little bit. USD JPY does have, we're starting to see a little bit more of, let me see if I can pull back just a little bit. There, it's still consolidating pretty heavily, but it looks like it broke through that top range so far, but we don't know if that's just going to be temporary. Pull back down, hit a top. So again, we want this thing to change itself, to clean itself a little by committing to one way or another. Okay, something like the Great Britain Pound USD has done here. Okay, once it's committed itself here, pull back, and then what we're looking for is that on this one here, it didn't break the trend yet. Okay, if it would fall down past here, break this line, it would, but it did on the Euro USD. Okay, because there wasn't much trend to begin with, much trend top to begin with. So what we're looking for is maybe there's just a bounce off right here to go back up, and then give me an arrow in the next 5 minutes from here, in another 4 minutes. This would be a good arrow to take. Okay, but we're going to wait and see with that. Once again, I'm going to pause. We're going to wait for the next arrow. All right, we're back here. We had a third arrow release. That down, broke it. Now we're looking at this. It's not exactly what we thought it was going to do. An uptrend, punches it, calls it back just a little bit. Comes back down to this area, bounces off. Let's see if we're going to get an arrow here. If we do, we'll set our price. We'll set our price right around here, 27.76, 77, right in that area, if we get an arrow there. And it doesn't look like we're going to. Oh, we did get an arrow, but unfortunately, it's a down arrow. So at this point, you know, again, this is the drawback to, you know, a system like this, is that we have, see down, 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 and no arrow there. Because there's so much confusion in the market, it's driving that price down. It's trying to get back to here. So the bot says, you know, hey, this is still considered a mini pullback. If so, let's get it higher than here and wait for our proper arrow. That's what we're waiting on. I'll pause again and see you in a second. All right, so it looks like, again, we had just another bout of this just jumping down on us. And again, more of a pullback area. So I'm not really feeling comfortable with trying to get into anything right at the moment until, like I said, I get that perfect arrow. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to play any games with this. You know, this is our money. This is our financial institution we're talking about. All right, so while we're waiting for another signal, let's do another learning thing here. How much? Let me give you up here. This is my live account. Now remember, I had 4,000 something bucks in my account. I'm doing about $4,000 to $6,000 a month. I wanted to show you how I got to that point of doing 10 contracts at a time by doing this, what we call the incremental crawl. So I reduced it down to $1,000. I'm going to start off right now with a contract of about 1, right? Now, my ratio, okay, is that if I'm getting contracts for about $30, this means that I'm risking, my reward is about $30. Then my risk is about 70. And I know that seems skewed, right? It's like, wait a minute, that's really off, Ben. Everything tells me I should always be risking less and making more. Yes, you're absolutely right. But because the pair is so strong in the money at that point, yeah, this is an unbalanced risk-reward system. And that's how we have to deal with it. But with basically the results that we're getting, it kind of makes it that if you follow the flow, the risk is really, really low, okay, to lose. If you're not careful, yes, you could still lose. So risk disclaimer. Now, so if that's the case, I only want to risk about 10%. I know it's pretty high too. You know, some people are like 2%, 2%. If you got a bunch of money, then do the risk percentage whatever you want it to be. Okay? So if that's the case, if I'm using 10%, then 10% of a balance to get to $70 needs to be $700. So for every $700 that I have in my account, I could do one contract. Well, you can see I only have $1,000 here. This is the average what most people start with. Some people just start with $700. That's okay. Some people even start with less. But my point is that if I start with $1,000, once I get to $1,400, then I can add another contract on. Now, at $1,400, how many trades do I need? I need to win at least 12 trades, 13 trades to get to that next. And I'm only doing about 1 or 2 trades a day. So yes, it's going to take about a week, 2 weeks to get to that first bout of trades to get me to the next contract. But listen, slow and sure wins the race. Why? Because if I do one contract, $30 spot, and I do that 13 times and I win however much that is, right? Say $390, right? To get to that point. And I get to my 1,400. And now I do 2 contracts. How fast am I going to get to $700 now? Because I remember I only have to go $400 here because I have $300 extra in there past my 700. Okay? So again, doing 2 times now you're making $60 per each one, right? You're making 60, right? So we got to do a little bit of reverse math. So we just do 700 divided by 60. And that's about 11 trades, okay? Now, once that happens, now I'm doing 3 trades. So that's $90 per each trade that I'm making, right? So now how fast do I need to do to the next one? It's about 7 trades. Now I'm doing 4 trades each one. So that's about $120 each time, right, to get to 700. Now I'm only doing 5 trades. You get where this is going? So how long can it take for me to get to 10? Well, it should take you roughly around 2 months to get to that point. 2 months of working hard. 2 months of putting the time down and really getting it going on. Some of you are going to try to get there quick, I know. Some of you are going to try to do 12 trades a day, 20 trades a day. Okay, to try to get to that. But let me tell you, if you start doing that, the more you touch this thing, the more you can make a mistake. All right, we're going to wait to see what happens here. There's another signal about to fly out, I think. I hope. Actually, now here we go. I don't like this one right here. Why? Because we have this uptrend broken. Okay, kind of playing around, playing the games here with this double level. It's underneath. I am liking the Great Britain Pound USD, but I really don't like it here at this level. This little double top level here that's happening. It could be 27.84. 27.84 on Great Britain Pound USD. 27.84. 27.83. 7.87. God, they're so far apart. They're 4 pips apart right now. So 27.83, I'm going to put my one contract in. I'm going to grab my money at $70. I'm going to place my order. I'm doing a working order right now on live. So if it does fall down to 27.83, gets real close to that, we're doing that. Why did I do that? Real simple. I'm not going to go at this top level here, 27.84 in this area. Okay. I could have went straight at the money with it and hoped for the best, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. 27.81 would be 27.83 on the market, so that's good. I'm at that level. If I do get pullback, I get into this trade. If I don't, then I just have to wait 4 or 5 trades, 4 or 5 signals, whatever, to get to where I need to get. Now let's look at this Euro USD. Where would we have gotten with something like this? Well, because we have this heavy line in here, look, there's a touch here, touch here, touch here, here, here. That's why the system gave us a support line right there, okay? There's a reason for that. Now, this has created a support to be resistance. This little line right here is now resistance. So can this thing push past 14.23? Let's go have a look. Let's go look at the Euro USD, 14.23. There it is, 14.24. 14.27 was that middle line. You see how it resisted it? It's kind of coming back to that area, and now we have in the monies on the 14.23 because it's so close to it. So I think that this pair is going to actually end up falling down some, maybe not bouncing through this or going through that unless it's now starting to do a reverse to get me for a downtrend. We're going to see what happens. Let's jump back over to Nadex, 14.24. I don't see the Great Britain pound USD doing anything to get me down to that 3 pips. Get close, but that 14.23 is looking pretty strong there to stay right about there for that Euro USD pair. The Audi, same thing. Where would I have come for this one if I wanted to take this signal? Well, I really wouldn't have taken the signal because of this double bottom right here. Okay, double top right there. It pushed through, came in. I'd probably, if I was going to look at a trade at that route, I would either use something right in here as like a fallback, or, okay, since I'm going for an uptrend, I can't even use my regular area, which I would probably use right about there, because it really doesn't give me anything decent. So my only hold was right here at 27.81. So 27.81 on that Great Britain pound USD, 27.83, as you see. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's the Audi USD. 72.82 right in that area. Yeah, 72.82, which would be an Audi USD. Yep, 72.83. Now we got about a minute left, so they're not going to give us any money on this because it could fall to that, but either way. There's 27.84. Kind of not liking that, but we'll stay with the last 30 seconds here to see if it falters at all. If it does, it might get in, and if it does, yep, it did. Got about 40 seconds left. Now, this is the problem with trading at the working order side of it. It did come down, it did grab it. I don't think it's going to go back up. If it does, then you get the win here. But if not, then that was very cute. That was very, very cute, but you see how the numbers work. And that's how it works. Have you seen that? That was all done live on a live account. And it came in and just picked it up in the last 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then fell down below it, was out of the money, and then last couple seconds was above the money. So it was that easy, that quick. Does that make you shake? I hope so, because that's the way this stuff goes. So if you can handle that, if you can handle that pressure, we're $28 closer to where we were before. All that unfolded right in front of you. All right. So I hope this shows you some lessons. Now, again, this was a harder trade to take. It followed the rules to a degree. Let me jump down here real quick. But one of the main rules is that yes, you follow the trend, you got the trend, and we set the line. We look for our support and resistance areas. And where do we set our number at? If we would have tried to be too aggressive and went right at the money, we would have lost. Okay, it would have got set and would have lost, but we set it with the proper authority of 2781, which is 2783, and we were able to get in on a working order last second, and it filled and it won. So it really does come down to just using your patience and timing to be able to do that. I'm going to call this video done for now because that's my trade. Here, I'll show you what I'll be doing now. All right, so we're going to set up just real quickly just so you can see. Transactions, view. Come on. There it is. And you see, this is really a live account. It's not some fake trading account. Just going to grab the whole thing. All right. So again, it's only trading one contract at a time. If you're looking at that, hey, this is it's too much. I'm going to come down the 6th line here. Now, all the rest of the stuff here that August 1st. Okay, I'm just going to grab this, some of this code that I created from before. This will help me set this just like that. I'm going to go here, view, freeze, up to row 6, so I can, up to row 5, view, freeze, to row 5. Then going to do equals sum, parentheses, and this will equal the sum out. We won $28. We want to count. Our win ratio so far is 1 and 0. We've won $28. We've got a 100% success rate. Yay for us. Okay, so this is the very first one, August 13th. Yes, it's halfway through the month. But if we wanted to look back before, so far, this is what we were before when I was trading at 10 contracts so far for the month. And again, look, on the 2nd, on the 5th. So there was 3 days I didn't trade. Okay, so 7th, on the 7th, we won 302. And this little bugger right here is one that caused it all because a customer had seen this and asked me, why don't we trade from the criminal crawls, show a series of doing that, and that's what we're doing right now. So I hope you enjoyed this a little bit longer video for the very first one so you can see. Now, should I sit and trade and look all day and find the other ones? Well, I could, but I'm looking to get the momentum down that if I were to trade, this would have been a 280, if I were to trade 10 contracts, this would have been a $280 win. And is $280 a day enough? That's the big question. Is it enough? On this August 1st one, if I would have done the 10 contracts there, that would have been roughly around another, what would that have been? $280 day right there. Or actually, it would have been a $500 day because I got this one for 30-something, $32. Okay? So this is really, really pure on just finding your number. Oh, let me put my note in here for, this was a working order with last second buy. Pretty cool. All right. Sorry, I had to answer that phone call. So that's the video. If there's any questions, please smash the subscribe button. Make sure you get notifications so you can watch this full time. This is the series with Trading Live with Max, or the Crawling with Max, I think we're going to call it. We'll work that out as we go along. So this first one was a little rough. We're trying to get around the edges. We'll see how everything else goes with the next ones. Guys, have a great day. I'm Max Farrell. This is DexTrader.com. And as always, trade well.